Hey, good evening, everybody. Here we are back on a lovely Sunday evening. Get back in the shop doing our thing. So we figured we'd get out here and get started on another one. Alrighty. They've got this one fit extra tight. So let's see here. You getting out of here? Get your guys out of the way. Alright, so the other one didn't last but about 15 minutes that we built. It was meant to have until the show. So I'm going to try to hurry up and get another one made prior to, since we've got the rest of the evening and tomorrow off. I'm going to try to get one more built. For those of you that might be interested. Oh, Ronald. Vern. What's going on, Nick? So we're going to draw our line there. That way we know how far up or how far down we need to go in relationship to our holes and everything. For those of you that watched the live feed on Facebook earlier, it was essentially on the same amplifier. This one's going to be slightly different layout, almost exactly the same, but just slightly different. So we're going to go ahead and build it in an AM form, and then see if somebody wants to add the biasing before it's all said and done. Should have done is taken the other one while I still had it apart. Once I had all the holes and preliminaries taken care of, I should have just went ahead and used everything for a layout sheet. That way I could have just punched all my holes all in one shot and it'd been a little bit faster. But here we are. We'll get it one way or the other. So let's get the quick measurement here. Board down. Inch and a quarter. on all my layout tools here, guys. Bear with me. Okay. So I'm starting out with the exhaust ports on this for right now. Good evening, John. Good to, well, sort of see you. Glad that you popped in for a visit anyways. Let's see, that's the width of that. On the cutoff point here that I don't want to go past. All right, so something didn't look right. All right, I got those drawn out. Somebody texted me here. Bear with me, guys. There we go. Let them know that I'm on YouTube Live. All right. Let me grab a fan because we're going to go ahead and get things set up for the fan as well. Okay. This is the hardest part right here. The whole thing is just actually kick back and taking and making the measurements that's needed for the fan itself. And there's my glasses, since I can't see that small anymore. I'm gonna have to go down a little bit more. Bear with me, guys. Okay. So according to that, I can go down just a little bit further yet. All right. So get any more, I'm just gonna have to put them off on hold, I guess, or tell them, well, I'll get to you when I get to you. All right. So next set of holes, center to center. Looks like 3 1/4. Well, hello, 3. What's going on, buddy? Yeah. Off to work I go. You know how that is too, buddy. I know you've been putting in a few extra hours here and there yourself. doesn't work for the hoop. It's just too big. What I like is I get a 6-inch scale that helps out a lot. Locate the center of those. Should be 1 5/8. So I'm going to make another mark just to make sure we're where we need to be. We are centered. Good deal. Yeah, I don't know about you, Early, but this is the worst part about a build is if you got to cut the holes for the fans yourself. Howdy, howdy, howdy. I think that's Bruce, if I remember right. Yep, thought I was right. make sure I'm in my range here before I start stamping these. Okay. 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 The only other two holes that we need to worry about right now is for our coax connectors. Alright, so let's see how wide that is. Well, thank you, Bruce. Definitely like the compliments. I just wish I wasn't so doggone far behind. Hopefully, the 19th, hopefully you're off and you'll be able to come down to the little CB meet and greet that we've got going on. Well, that thing just does not want to be friendly at all. So lay it up on top. have been getting some strange messages here lately. Alrighty. Yeah, I've still got to get those jumpers made for you, Bruce. I did find the roll of RG400 the other day, so that's actually something I'm going to be working on here. I know I've got the break that's coming up here in 2 weeks, and that's the main priority that I'm after right at the moment. And then after the break, that Sunday, I will probably go ahead and make those up. I know you need a 3 foot, at least one 3 foot, and a 6 foot. I'll have to go back and look at the messages. I think you'd only need, what, 3 cables? But if you decide to come down here in 2 weeks, Bruce, to the break, if you want, go ahead and bring that with you, and I will do my best to go ahead and try to make up the cables, or at least a few of them between now and then for you. That way you could pick those up at the break, because that's something that I can do through the week. Where is my little board? All the stuff I've got in here, I can't find my little board. That's just crazy. Okay, I got another one. I'll find it later now, guys, since I've got this one. spacing. Okay. Get those holes done. Yeah, if we get this out of the way, it won't be so bad. We'll do a little bit of the other layout. What we'll do, we'll get building on the main body of it. Okay, so those two will be 5/8. Start with those. That should be a standard 1/4 inch. Yep. Yeah, I really wish they wouldn't put these holes in there for the factory. I know they do it for another style that they typically use, but just whenever we order them, I just wish they were with no holes. All right, John, you take care, buddy. We'll see you later. Sometimes slugs want to be a pain. plate. Back cut there, and hopefully that'll make it where we don't have to fight that. And yes, I know I could cut these out with a step bit, but it doesn't make quite as clean a hole as using a knockout. We're not worried about the mess because it does make less mess too, but make it a little easier. Yeah, the back plate on these, that's actually the slowest. But, you know, we're going to do the mock-up for the back, get it all knocked out, and then we're going to go ahead and do the same for the bottom plate that we're actually going to mount it to. Then we'll actually start on the actual board itself. Which won't take but just a few minutes on the other. This is the part that's taking the most time. Should be 3/8. It's 4 steps. making chips. It's going to be for our exhaust port. And the only thing we've got to do is get that one out of the way yet. It's a mess here off the workbench. I know Fat Cat told me the other day where I've been using my ashtray for stuff like this. He told me I wasn't using it right, which it's been roughly a year now since I've actually smoked here in the shop. So the shop's been smoke-free for a year. I was smoke-free for about 5 or 6 months and got back on the Chantix. So I'm just about done with smoking again. Hopefully this time I won't let it catch back a hold of me like it did. Unlike the last two holes, we'll make short work of these. I just didn't want to go through and fumble around and get the other set up. For the half inch. Truth be told, I'm probably not supposed to use an impact on these. It's so much faster, guys. Well, hello, radio. Good afternoon. Good evening, rather. So how many people are off this coming up Monday? I'm actually one of the lucky ones. It's kind of unusual. I don't normally get holidays like this very often. It just so happens it's on my weekend off. Yeah. I know besides what we gotta have for that, so we can get that knocked out. All right, so never can remember what size this arbor is. Yeah. Need to get a metric version. Yeah. This out of the way, we'll get the big hydraulic punch. Punch that out. short work of that one. Okay. Now we've got all that out of the way. Alrighty. Then a little cleanup. That's ready to go. So one other thing we need to do, and I'm not going to worry about that tonight, because I got to knock out a couple of holes there for the SO239s. Otherwise, we've got the worst of it done. Side. Essentially, that's what you're going to see on the inside. Once it's actually bolted, that is. So we have our SO239s here, the fan, and then our main board. Credit where credit's due. This is tight. Looking like a good old-fashioned brass hammer. through here before I sit there and do that, because I think I might have to cut this one side down. And I would fit a couple of modules in here. I don't remember. I've got plenty of room. Plenty of room. Good evening, Squirrel. Well, I'm glad you think that. I actually try my best, although I do forget from time to time some of the simplest of things as well. All right, so I think 3 bolts should hold this. Plus, we're going to have our tabs down here in the back to help hold it. So I don't think this is going to go anywhere. No means. Okay. Actually, before I do that, very straight. Okay. One more up there. Just want to double check myself one more time before I call it good. I know I've got these holes here to go off of, which shouldn't give me too much differential. So I'll be fine. I know I don't have everything just square, but I've got plenty of movement there. Got like 3 of these crazy things. second check. I don't remember. Well, that takes a metric screw. I know it's 4mm, but I don't remember what it is in standard. So let's just mic one out. Okay. Should do us there. Well, with the exception of the face, which I'm not going to worry about that tonight. Like I said, I'll do that part tomorrow. We'll get the burrs and everything else off this real quick, which won't take me a second. Set this off to the side, and then we're going to start building the actual ham. Hang on, guys. There we go. My phone rings quite often this time of the night. Alright. Get this out of the way and get to building. And we got the worst of it done. The back and just getting this laid out, that's the worst of it. The power switch, it's going to go down underneath here. There's just enough room to get it here and keep all the AC basically on the bottom, just like I try to do on my big power supplies. So that's what's kind of nice about these cases. There we go. Hello, 3. Yeah, I just got to try to get enough stuff up out of the way. Don't take me long because I usually try to keep it picked up as I go along. For some reason, it makes life a little easier, buddy. And I don't have to spend a half a day cleaning up cleaning up because of it. Granted, there's still things that still get out of control in here. So it has to be put up. There we go. I like my little Milwaukee drill. It's still a little heavy for some of what we do in here, but it's nice. It's got just the right amount of power. Good evening, Charles. Mr. 473, 473, 476, 476. All right. Yeah, I know I'd get it right eventually. So are you keeping any of the mud ducks down in your area in line? I seen you got your 4-pill back. I don't think he's ever going to get it back after you loaned it out. There we go. Here while I'm up. Hey, good evening, Jeremy. You're seeing 800? Really? Out of that 2290 box? I mean, I know we're seeing 600 with my radio drive, but well, there again, you're using a dual final radio too. That does have a lot to do with it. Wow. No wonder you had such a hard time getting that thing away from the guy. I don't care who you are. I've never seen anybody that has messed with the thermal compound not get any on them before the end of the job. Well, that was lucky. It's kind of like jelly. Usually it always happens on the jelly or peanut butter side, always hits the floor. Yeah, that is exactly right, Jeremy. That's another one of those that you can still wear rubber gloves. I don't care. You're still going to get that stuff on you somewhere, some way, somehow. You still wind up getting that somewhere on you. Now, this particular heat sink, I actually had to drill and tap the holes myself. I get it from a different vendor. I normally go ahead and get these drilled, pre-drilled and mounted. No more extra than what they charge me. It just saves me a whole lot of time and hassle, I think. I know some guys use those self-tapping screws, these 440s, that way they don't have to tap them, but I still, even if I use those screws, I still like using a tap and running down through there and getting things pre-threaded. I use a little bit of both on the screws. I use a lot of stainless. Tip on the screwdriver isn't as good as I'd like it to be either. The reason why I mentioned that I drilled and tapped the holes myself was oftentimes you're better off to go ahead and leave these loose until you get everything mounted on your transistors before you go to the next stage. Good deal, buddy. I know you said you've been having a lot of fun with it between the amp and the radio. Of course, you got two different amps when you come up here, one for me and one from truck. But I just haven't got into the tube stuff. Keep it where I want it and get it unstuck from my finger will be good. This is some of that cheap Harbor Freight glue, but it actually does pretty decent for what I'm using it for. I'm just using it basically to hold these in place until everything's all finalized. Doesn't have to be super strong glue, just decent. Just a decent hold. Well, if you got to go fix and stand up an antenna tower, why don't you come up here, bring your belt, fix my antenna for me? Hell, I might even do some trading, build you something else you want. And the phone goes ding. Read up the list. Yeah, it does, Jeremy. He had 3 orange relays show up bad. Huh. Yeah. I haven't bought. I've still got some that I bought from a lot about 3 years ago that I'm still using on. Oh, the 8 amp ones that are orange. Yeah, no, I've never had any issues with those at all. I don't know where you got those, but and my kiddo checking in with me. All right. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, the 8 amp relays I just ordered 30 or 35 of those. I have had really, really good luck. I mean, I don't know where you got yours at this last go around. But I mean, I've been using those now for about 3.5 years, and I only bought one lot off of eBay. The rest of them, and that's been several years ago. The rest of them have all came from, one of the reputable places here in the U.S. that sells those. But like I said, I've had super, super good luck. But I will keep that in mind as far as on the ones with the orange bottom. Okay, yeah, just do that for me early if you would, please. Oh yeah, yeah, Squirrel. I stay busy, buddy. I stay way too busy. I know Jeremy knows exactly what I'm talking about. So does Charles. Um, of course those two kind of did the same job at once upon a time. So yeah, um, yeah. Unfortunately, I am going to start slowing down by the time I get through all the stuff that I've got here going into the beginning of the year. I want to get on to some other projects and some other R&D. I've got a couple of different transistors here that I want to try building a little different and see what they wind up doing and see how they perform. So just want to try some different things out. Yeah, I'm glad he was able. I'm glad he was able to do that because it's like I said, it's just been a madhouse. I've still got way more work that's here than I had intended on taking in. I did come across something though the other day early that I'm seeming to like really well. I bought some of it because I was getting kind of low on my regular stock. Get it down. I don't know if you can see the name on there or not. So we can get it flipped around here maybe. Focus. Anyways, it is clear double-sided adhesive tape made by Gorilla. It's about I think it's 38 foot-pounds that it can hold for a 12-inch strip. And I can tell you personally, the 3M version has nothing on this as far as physical adhesion. This stuff will stick. I mean, you better have your P's and Q's absolutely positively in order before you drop that on the board. Because if you do not, you will pay 3 kinds of hell to get it off. And it's not that expensive either. That's probably the number one thing that I like about it is it's actually more economical than the 3M, which is usually some pretty good stuff. What if I offer you $201? Yeah, just about. I mean, you can get it off. I mean, don't get me wrong, you can get it off, but it it has got some seriously good adhesion. You know, you just have to work it off of it a little at a time, or work it down anyways. I mean, it still comes off the same, but um, I mean, I haven't tried it on the 10 amp relays, but again, on the small relays, I know it's definitely some good stuff. Hey, that'll work, Squirrel. I'd love to get mine up, get mine going, but gee, my Christmas, I just can't. I can't get anybody over here. That's been my whole problem. My schedule is just so tight. I looked into getting one of those power lifts, and Jiminy Christmas, I'm better off to just about go. I'm just better off to go ahead and order a whole new tower, as I would to rent one of those for the day. They want like $600 to rent one for a day. That's just insane. Absolutely insane. Yeah. Yeah. Again, getting stuff like that hauled right now is another issue too. Okay, so some resistors going on. I will have to say, so far from what I've seen, which there again, that's probably going to change as well before it's over with, but so far from what I've seen, I've built a few of them, but so far from what I've seen, the MRF454s by HG, I think they've actually kind of outdid themselves. You know, most of everything that they've had in the past doesn't seem to stay on cue all the time, as far as what you normally build with, like the Toshibas. But the 454 so far, from what I've seen, I've been pretty impressed with. I've been impressed with. Okay. Three of them are you, huh? Wow. Well, when I was on Facebook, I had 16, and then it dropped all the way down to 8. Don't know what happened there. I guess they were done looking or watching. Notice after notice. I do. All right. Get some ferrite. See if we can get that wound up. I didn't make a whole bunch of these up the other day early, but I did make up a few of the feedbacks. I've got enough for a couple of small amps left, but nothing else. All right, so let me think here. 6, 9. I think that's what I want. Well, they're not 100% bent up, but they are. You know, I made them like this is what I did early. That way, all I got to do is bend, cut the one tab off here to whatever length I need. Which I mean, I could go ahead and pre-cut those too, because that's not going to change. But I haven't been able to get this part of it down pat. You know, I've looked at doing these. You know, I've done these like 3 or 4 or 5 different ways, and I'm still trying to find the fastest way to build consecutive looking heat sinks, or not heat sinks, but feedbacks. And like everybody else, I still haven't came up with just that perfect little pattern where we can sit down and make them, make them up, 50, 60, 80, 100 at a time. One of the other things too that you'll probably notice, and it's actually one of the companies that I've been buying a lot of parts from. Again, this is U.S. stock from a reputable company. These are 100 ohm resistors. I got down to where I just had a very few, about a half a dozen of the 3-watt resistors that I've been using in a lot of my builds. Anyways, instead of using the blue ones from China, which are actually really good resistors. They're very accurate for what they are. These are also very accurate. These are also 1%ers, but because of the amount that I bought, I actually got these cheaper than the ones that I can get from China now. Now, that wasn't the case 4 years ago. Wasn't the case like it was 8 years ago. And I've still got a pile of resistors that I bought since, like I said, about 8 years ago. I started ordering those from China. I'm still using on various varieties. But I have had, like I said, very, very good luck out of them. These are actually not 104s. Those are actually 103s. I've got some 104s. Problem is, I've been trying to find, and I didn't save it. If I can get into my old account, now these are 103s, and I really like these because these are rated for 1 kV and they're nice and big. So these are great. The 104s, nope, sorry, 102s. Yeah. Yeah. That's a 102. It's in the same family, but it's a 102. These are only rated for, what is it? I put my glasses on. Yeah, these are also rated for 1 kV. Again, U.S. stock, but I don't even see it up there. They do have, by the same brand and everything, and it's crazy because the price. I'm actually going to call and call them out on it, but I want to order. I want to make sure I order about another 500 of these before I call them out on the price difference. You know, these are only about 15, 16 cents a piece in a quantity of 500. But if you order, let's say 1,000 of the 104s in the same configuration, the same brand, same case style, 1,000 of them, which is double the amount. They're like, what is it, 36 cents a piece is what they are. So little disappointed. I know there's not that much difference in them for them to charge almost three or four times the cost. That's just ludicrous. It really is. Now I do have, speaking of 104s though, and I really don't need any for a while as far as on the 104s, mainly because I bought a company completely out that they had. Which I've still got about 500 of them, roughly. I'd have to go back and really look because they actually sold these to me by the pound because they didn't want to count out all the parts. So I bought a couple of pounds of these. I bought every one they had. You know, I know what it says on there. I know what these are actually rated for. But yeah, these make great feedbacks as well for the 0.1s. But I have found that certain builds do like an 01 instead of a 0.1. So, like I said, just one of those that I've been going back and forth and seeing. You've got, you can't see the number. And I haven't been able to find exactly who makes this one. Focus. There we are. And like I said, I don't know who actually makes this one, but I know it says 25 volts, which I've seen a lot of people that use 25-volt versions. But these are killer. I mean, you can actually run a couple hundred volts through these because I've done it. Yeah, most things I'm happy with the 104s overall. Like I said, there's just a couple of circuits that it seems like they work a little bit better, or they seem to like the 103s just a little bit better. Like I said, I'd love to get my hands on the same version in the 104. Like I said, I'd love to. The only problem is finding, like I said, it's finding, finding those. Because like I said, I like the size of them. They're not super huge, but they're not itty bitty. They've got plenty of kV rating. I mean, like I said, they're a great little disc capacitor. Okay. This thing around here. Couple pieces cut. We'll get this thing wound. Well, Early, you're being awful quiet. Of course, Charles, you are too. I know you guys are both night owls. I'm actually surprised that Jeremy's out here this late. Figured it'd be siesta time for him. Well, good afternoon or good evening, Amy. It's still a little warm. I guess you're off tomorrow as well. Tell you what, Early, I don't know what I'm going to do with all this green I've got. Good googly moogly. I got 1,000 foot of this green Teflon wire to use up over the next millennia. I've got 10,000 feet of that black, and somewhere around 1,000 of this white. Well, the green and the white that I've got, they are both they're both 18 gauge, which now I have found with the MRF454s. This particular setup, it really likes for some reason it likes the 18 gauge. As far as on the overall, I've tried 16 on both input and output. I've tried 16 only on the output, vice versa. Just overall with the 1-inch transformer and the 1/2 inch for the input, like I said, I don't know, I get more power. That's the biggest thing that I've seen. Reflect actually comes down a little bit more. I'm not saying that I've got a whole lot of reflect to begin with, but it does come down. Yes, it is early. Yeah, I forgot I had this board, and that's the whole thing, is I wanted to go ahead and use it up. I bought the board because I knew I could cut it down to size this way. Um, since I've got it, I'm going to go ahead and use it. I thought about, and I wasn't quite sure. I was going to go ahead and trim, and I still might do it before I put it in. Well, no, I can't, because I've already got my set point for my holes. So yeah, I'm stuck using exactly what you see here. But yeah, I actually had intended on cutting this board down just a little bit. I did want to go ahead and leave it a little longer than the short boards. The short boards are just, they're really just, they're a pain in the butt to use. You know, they're sufficient. They're sufficient for what we've got and with what we're doing with them. But they're just not quite enough as far as on the length um, to be able to use like this. So, like I said, not that there's anything wrong with it, and I have used up the last of those. I have finally used up. So now I'm working on some of the RF junk boards, since I can't get the cases to match these. Yeah, I like them early. Like I said, I just wish he had more stuff on hand or in stock right now. It's just, I know over this little ordeal that he's been fighting with here lately, um, you know, he's actually looking into producing his own, his own cases, um, just like Fat Boy is. Which, if I had that ability, financial wise, I would probably do the same. Of course, if he does, maybe he'll take the 16 pill case that he's got, and I'm hoping if he does, I'm hoping he'll make it an inch taller. I mean, it's perfect the way it is, other than it just needs to be, to my opinion, it needs to be another inch taller. That way we could actually go ahead and use it for a 4-pill base. I really like the gold anodize that they use. Granted, like you, I wish it was clear coated already, but You know, that's neither here nor there. But yeah. Should have done that before I put the capacitor on there to show you. But that tape is, like I said, it's just phenomenal. Yeah, I don't really know either on that either, buddy. I know why he's not right now, and that's because of availability. You know, he's had a world of time trying to you know, just get parts. You know, sadly, it's just like the metal clads. You know, I'm getting very, you know, very dangerously low to being out. You know, I don't have any spares. You know, as far as if somebody needed to buy a few of them off of me, I really don't have any to let go of. I looked into buying some here better than 2 months ago, and told the guy I'd take what I thought was a fairly decent amount, and yeah, he's never got back with me. So I don't know. I wish he would get back with me. Yeah, the other one I put a preamp in. I don't think I'm going to put a preamp in this one, mainly because of the amount of time it takes to build one. And I can sell it just a little cheaper if I don't. Yeah, I got some new Kia boards here the other day. Been playing around with. I don't know that I like them any better than the old school, but they sure look a lot nicer than doing it the old school way. But I thought I'd buy a few of them and see what my opinion of them were. It is actually a little bit better. A little bit, even though it's using the same transistor, it is a little bit better circuit. She's watching me more than you are, huh? There's that little keying board that I purchased about 50 of them. And I wanted to see if it would actually make my life a little easier. In some cases it does. There we go. A little piece off there. But yeah, like I said, I don't know yet. I think part of it's I'm just going to have to get used to how it's built. I wished it was about 5/16 of an inch wider. That way it had a through hole for over here on the sniffing capacitor, the sniffer. But other than that, that's really the only part of it that to me is got a little bit of aggravation. I mean, I like the fact that I can solder it in two different directions. If need be, it's got a small hole in it where I can use like a number 6 screw, provided I stay with a regular pan head, but I can use a number 6 screw and put in there as well. Yeah, I think after I finish up this pile of feedbacks that I made up the other day early, I think I'm going to try another method. Let's see if I can't find something somewhere that makes it easier to make these up. I mean, just short of making a small little jig, which I guess I could. Yeah, if you find an easier way to do this, big guy, let me know. I am still searching for a better method. That actually wouldn't be a bad idea right there. Like I said, I got them, and I got them for a really good price, and they do look good. I mean, I'll give him that. I mean, they do look good. Um, like I said, I mean, I've got to figure out as far as you know, how handy they are. I know they're going to be reliable enough. I just don't know as far as uh, I'll think here in a minute how handy they are. Like everybody else, I mean, I'm still looking for the better methods. You know, things that'll make my life a little easier. I still like, and I still want to build a custom-made or hand-built amplifier. You know, versus using, you know, an actual board that's all pre-cut and, you know, everything like that. Which, not that there's anything wrong with it. I mean, I still like using the actual pill strips, you know, versus some of the other methods that are out there. Okay. I haven't put those on yet. Yep, I have not put those on there yet. Actually, I think I want to go. crazy thing still. Well, I'll tell you, Early, I don't know how many you've got left. Like I said, I tried to get a hold of the individual, and he did call me back, and I don't know what happened to him. I was supposed to have gotten some, and I guess I'm too small time. I'm not like you, buddy. Yeah, I think eventually, Early, I think that's what we're going to wind up with when this is all said and done. Is I think we're going to wind up having to use the SMD 1000s by the time it's all said and done. I mean, it's the world that we're living in nowadays, but I see that being a reality here very, very shortly. I don't know, to be honest with you. I mean, I am, obviously. I know we're going to have a few people from Illinois that's going to come over. I know there's a few people that's over in Ohio that's coming down. Let me think here. I got Illinois, Ohio. I got a couple people said they were going to come up from Kentucky, which, I mean, they're only a few hours away. And then, hopefully we'll get as many of the locals as we can get over here as well. So, You know, I've got a few people that talk to me that live in New York. They're actually wanting to come down for that as well. I need to get with Mike tomorrow and find out if he's had any calls as far as on anybody reserving, campsite or anything. There are some local motels that are, you know, not right next to it, but in the vicinity, anyways. Um, as far as for people to want to come down the night before and stay. So, I'm just looking for kind of a mix and match of different, different areas and people. Um, and I don't know who all, like I said, is going to for sure show up at this time. That's the whole thing in a nutshell. Is I'm not 100% sure. It's just we got to take it a day at a time and see where we land. Hopefully it will turn out really, really good this year, especially for one that's been put together at the last minute. This is actually more for a lot of the people that are local that have asked and asked and asked. Um, I've actually got a little help with this one as far as for food, for food setup, reserving a building so that we can actually do it. So yeah, it'll be just the 19th. The 20th, maybe, if there's enough people that really want to, there's a possibility, but as of right now, we're just looking at the 19th. But it's going to be from 8 a.m. till basically whenever. The gentleman that is actually hosting it, I'm just a co-host actually on it, but the gentleman that's actually hosting it, he is actually taking care of the grounds over there, so he's got a little bit of a pull. Um, if for some reason it winds up big enough that we need both days, there is a possibility. So we'll just have to wait and take it at that. But we're just going to try for a single day, and then if we have enough turnout, at least on this one on short notice, we'll go ahead and try to plan for something nearly a year in advance to make sure that we can go ahead and get in on it. So. Oh. All right, so that's done. That's done. All right. So we need Hey, Co.
He's wanting to know because we're wanting to go and try Kimberly again.
Who's wanting to know what?
Me and Xavier was wanting to know if it'd be fine since I already got my yard work done. I'm going to do the dish tomorrow. If I can just stay the night so we can go to Kimberly.
Tomorrow, you mean? As far as that's what you're going to do is go tomorrow?
No, we're going to go tonight.
Oh, you're going to go tonight?
Yep. We're going to try.
So you're going to go there so that you actually
sleep, so to speak. Yeah, so I'm basically going to stay so that way we can go out to Kimberly tonight.
Yeah, that'd be fine. Yeah, that'd be fine.
I was just making sure that was okay.
Yeah.
And you said behind that bait shop,
yep.
And then like that little bank bit.
Yeah, you'll see it. But either there, especially if you're going to do it tonight, there or on the other side will be your two best spots.
All right. Thank you, Dad.
You're welcome. I'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. I love you.
Love you. Fish, fish, fish. At least she likes her hobbies. Alrighty. I'm going to sleep and catch a packer. Okay, whatever that means. Not really sure with you. Not real sure with you, big guy. I know sometimes you get things confused or confused. Okay, now it's going to get noisy. Yeah, Dewey, everything's going good, buddy. Oh. No, I'm a little more careful than you. But, yeah, Dewey, everything's going good on my end, bud. Doing good. if I would have remembered, been easier to have done this prior, but I had actually forgot about this. More often than not, I always forget about this one little step. All right, come on, Dan. You're good. Just hand cut. Make sure to mark which one we're using for which side. Oh my God. You weren't paying attention, was you? that again with the duster here in just a minute. Okay, Early, where'd you hide my can of air? That was one of the other things that was on my to-do list yet this summer and haven't got to it. I've got a small air compressor that I was going to put up in the attic and run me a small 1/4 or 3/8 airline, maybe 5/16, just something small, but run me a small little airline down in here so I don't have to listen to the compressor, and that way I could have air here in the shop. That was my original goal. However, that hasn't happened yet. You know, I don't need tons of air for what we're doing, just enough to blow stuff out, what have you with. Got a couple of screws, put those on there. If no more heat than what this is actually going to get, chances are I could have got by with some of that double-sided adhesive tape just as easy, but I wanted to make sure that there was no way it couldn't seal or wouldn't stay. It's just like this stuff. I mean, you can get it super hot. That's that E6000. That stuff is amazing. Absolutely amazing stuff. This way we know we can go ahead and force more air through here, and we don't have to worry about it coming back out here or going in through the sides and then out to the back. We know we're actually being able to force it through the physical heat sink this way. Doesn't have to be anything special. You could use a piece of phenolic. I like using some of that because the scraps like that I can get for free up at my local hardware store. So that's the reason why I usually use a lot of plexiglass for air dams and blocks, just for that reason. No, I haven't hurt myself. Hurley's talking about hurting himself. Wow, it's 1 o'clock in the morning. So, set this off to the side. Way. We don't get any more junk in it since we've already got blowed out. Yeah, I don't like these just because of one reason, and that's you never know what side to actually drill a crazy hole. This one's got a few more different steps in it, so I think what we're looking for is 5/16. That is 5/16. One more. We're going to use that one for our little DC wires, so we can hook up to the relay and either add sideband or a preamp or something like that. And we're going to go ahead and run the extra wire, and then I'll decide what I want to do on that. This one we're going to use for the AC. chair here out of the way. Let's see. Screws. All right. Maybe the other ones. Sorry, I've not been real talkative, guys. I'm just kind of in the zone, I guess. And so we're just going to mount this, the main chassis here. I'm not going to make this super permanent just yet. I want to just get everything in there and get kind of started more than anything. Well, I've still got just a little bit of movement until we start putting everything back, or start putting everything together on the back. Get a couple more nuts. Just a little bit. I said I want a little bit of wiggle room until we get it all situated and pushed up against there. But, all right. Alrighty. Well, I think what I'm going to do, guys, as late as what it is, I'm going to finish doing some cleanup, but I think we're going to go ahead and stop where we're at tonight and get this taken care of tomorrow and finish. I still got to cut my piece here for power and go ahead and put those in. Believe it or not, that was actually deliberate. I wanted to get everything else situated and put where I wanted first before I went back and did that. Reason why is the last time that I put one of these together, had a little bit of a difficulty, so I actually had to move that on the last one. So I wanted to go ahead and get everything else situated first, and then that way I can go back and put that portion in, and we'll put the capacitors on it as well as the diode, for service, for service protection. And then we'll also go ahead. I've got to make up a couple of Class C chokes, but the reason why I haven't done that is I'm going to sleep on it overnight. We're going to think about doing a sideband version with the actual biasing for this. So that's the other reason why I've not actually went ahead and finished up the front end with the Class C chokes to ground. So like I said, just a little bit of thought that I've got to put into it before we get to that stage. But, we've got the nuts and bolts of it, so to speak, taken care of, and we've got the core portion done. So, yeah, not a whole lot left. We just got a few little odds and ends, and we'll be touched up and ready to go. But, guys, I appreciate you all popping in for a quick visit. I know some of you have stayed probably for nearly the whole duration, and some of you have been in and out. But definitely, guys, we definitely appreciate it. Hopefully you'll have a wonderful weekend, or you've had a wonderful weekend for those of you that's got to go back to work tomorrow. And for those of you that don't, well, have a happy Memorial Day for tomorrow. Take care and God bless everybody.